Hey everyone, it's Divine Readings with a Gypsy, and I am here going to do a side-by-side walkthrough of my personally made tarot deck, or my personally made deck that I've made from MakePlayingCards.com, and I'll put the links down below. And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to distribute any of my deck, and I will not be able to distribute any of the images or make any marketing or anything of the images. I know Elle even has a problem with maybe there might be copyright infringement with her decks and things like that, but I think as long as you're not distributing it and as long as you're not selling it, the images, and claiming that it's yours, I think you will be fine. But I just thought it would be wonderful to have a side-by-side comparison to the Rider-Waite as I flip through my deck. I've already walked through my deck once, and I absolutely love how it turned out. But I would love, 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 love for you all to see what I chose. This is my Fool card, and I think eventually I'm going to actually have bigger cards. I was actually surprised that I knew this was going to be a mini deck, but I didn't really think my deck was going to be as thick it was going to be. So I might actually redo this deck again and enlarge the images on like a poker size. But that's part of the problems with MakePlayingCards.com decks is that, or images for the decks, is even if you're using Google Images, the file sizes can vary and you're not going to be able to use a lot of the cards. I've been having a lot of heartache and problems finding the images that I want to have in my deck, but the images and the file sizes are way too small. I've been having problems, let's just put it that way. So yeah, the Fool. I like this as the Fool because he is kind of that spiraling in from the abyss, and versus jumping into the abyss, he's kind of spiraling away from the abyss, which I really, really like. This is my Magician card. This was one of the cards that I actually had. This was one of those cards that I had a hard time picking out for, and I still might have to hunt down a better Magician card because I just had a bad time trying to find a Magician card for my deck, just because the file sizes and the right images and how do I connect with the images just isn't quite there with my Magician card. So I think that I could work with this in my personal deck, but I don't think that for longevity things I probably might not be able to keep this image in my personal MakePlayingCard.com decks. I picked several cards out for my High Priestess here. I picked out a White Buffalo Woman for my High Priestess. I also picked out a Josephine Wall card for my High Priestess, and the energy's there. I know that this is not really a traditional High Priestess card. Either one of the cards that I picked for the High Priestess was traditional by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like the energy is still there of the High Priestess. So I'm very happy with both of the images that I did pick for the High Priestess. I might end up having this one stay in the deck and this one being as just an extra. So I have to play with the energies and see how it goes. I really love the Edward Munch Empress a lot. He's actually one of my favorite artists, and as I'm walking through the deck, or this deck, you will notice that a lot of Edward Munch's art pieces as part of my collaboration. But I really love the energy of that one better than that one. Even though this one was my alternate one, I really like that one as for my personal deck. the Emperor is a toughie one for me because I always had a problem with every single Emperor card I have always run across. There's only one or two tarot decks in my entire monstrous collection that I even remotely like, and I, for my personal deck, had to meditate on this one a little bit harder than normal. This one is actually an album art piece by a guy called John Dyer Baisley or something. It was like a metal player, and I used his art as the Empress as in my alternate. I really love the H.R. Geiger, though. This is a H.R. Geiger piece, and this one was one of my favorite H.R. Geiger images. And honestly, I think looking at this, I really love the H.R. Geiger one. I loved how he turned out. Oh my god. I am a big H.R. Geiger fan. I've been trying to hunt for a really good, the H.R. Geiger Majors Only deck on eBay for a good deal, and I can't seem to find anything less than $30. I have a problem with finding H.R. Geiger images because the file sizes were just that small, and I would have a problem trying to going for a bigger deck or a bigger size card. I am one of those weirdos that very much likes the old Hierophant. I really love the energy of the old Hierophant, believe it or not. But I went with a little more untraditional Hierophant, and I love the Odin with the ravens and the drums, and it's very shamanistic Hierophant. I didn't have to do any alternate Hierophants because it was just that awesome. Lover's card was actually a kind of a challenge one because I was like, could I go Marseille? Should I go Marseille images or should I go Rider-Waite? And then I said to myself, you know, this deck is really my own personal Rider-Waite deck, so might as well go with the Rider-Waite images for the lovers. So I got a really cool lovers image right here, along with this. Okay, with this one, I was really inspired by the Prisma Visions Tarot with using a car in the rain as the Chariot. And I just said, you know, I really would like that again in a deck. And it was different, and I haven't seen that kind of stuff done before, so I chose a Mustang as my Chariot card. I have the Strength here, and I actually really liked this image for Strength. She's kind of like a Native American woman being embraced by this bear. Oh my god, I loved it. Love that as Strength. Excuse the background noise. My husband is putting my daughter upstairs, so I might have some baby crying sounds in the background, but she should be fine. But I really liked her as Strength. I picked several images for the Hermit. I think I really like this energy of the Hermit versus this energy of the Hermit because he's kind of like that pushing outward, that inward part of himself that is pushing outward versus this one. This one says the energy of the Hermit, but I really love this image. So I don't know which one I will end up going with, so we'll find out as I work with my deck. And this is my Wheel of Fortune card. I got a tarot reader or a gypsy crystal ball reader with my Wheel of Fortune. I really like when card decks has the gypsy reader as a fortune card, like the Baba Studios Bohemian Gothic with the tarot reader as the fortune card. I really, really love Boondock Saints, and also in my deck I have a mixture of pop culture references in it too, as well as esoteric references, influences from my other decks, and this was one of my pop culture references, and I really, 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 really love the Boondock Saints, or the Saints being my Justice card. As for my Hanged Man, I have Odin hanging on Yggdrasil, and with the ruins, I think Elle actually used this same image in her own deck. It was either that or I was going to go with my badass idea of the Vision Quest with him hanging on the hooks. But this is really cool. Now, is this a badass death card or what? Is a Native American, I think he's Hopi, and he's just kind of has that haunting image. I think he's a Hopi Indian, and he's just that haunting death image. I really wanted to use him in my decks, or my personal deck, and he just looks so goddamn cool. Definitely awesome death card. I have a problem with Temperance. When I make my personal deck bigger or play poker size eventually, I'm still having a hard time with Temperance. I'm not quite loving the whale as Temperance, and I'm not so quite loving the swirls as Temperance either. So this is definitely one of those images that I've been having a hard time trying to nail down as Temperance, and I'm still not happy with it 100%. But the energies for Temperance is still there in my images that I picked. The Devil card. I really love H.R. Geiger. I shouldn't be doing close-ups on this one. It's really not appropriate. I probably will put a disclaimer on this video, but some of the images that I did choose is a little bit risque, but this is really a personal deck, and and I'm kind of showing you personal images that I would be meditating or work with when I'm working with my tarot. And that's my Devil card. Alright, this is an awesome tower card for me. It is a lighthouse with a wave crashing on it. And it's just kind of like that unseen element or an unseen force, just kind of external force coming down upon. Now this one is a complicated one for me. I haven't decided which one I would rather go with as my star card. I think they both turned out very well for star card. I really like him with this meditative state and just kind of with his head down and the star. But I really like just having that plain constellations right there too. I really could get into the star energy with either one of these images. I don't know which one I would go. I'm going to end up going with, or just keep both of them in. I'm not sure yet. I really like the moon card that I chose. However, I'm getting the vibe from my own moon card that it's rather plain. I am kind of disappointed in a way because I really wanted something that was kind of just says moon, plain moon, but I guess this is too plain for me. I don't know. I might have to change this image when I get to my bigger deck. And this is another Edward Munch piece, is the Sun card. And it's a wonderful Sun card, actually. I really like how the Sun turned out. No naked babies! Yay! I actually, in a way, which is kind of funny, do like a traditional Judgement card. And it's kind of like the call or the awakening, and I got a very Christian medieval art influence on my Judgement card, and I actually kind of like it. I really like the energy of the Judgement there, especially when you're really playing on the Rider-Waite-Smith meanings of Judgment. And I've went overboard with the World card because I kind of had a feeling that this was going to be a problem when I picked out the deck. Picked out images for the deck, I should say. Is that I had this card originally as my World card, and the letters and stuff aren't really visible there, so I might not go with this one. I really am, now that I'm looking through the camera view, are really liking this one being my World card versus this one. Although I like these both very, very much. I forgot the artist who did these amazing, amazing, amazing watercolor paintings. Well, that's my majors, and I'm going to see you in my next part of my video in my minors.